Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your CVC TV Game of the Week here on ChagrinValleyConference.com and the Chagrin Valley Conference YouTube page, presented to you by the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. I'm your play-by-play man for the night, Kevin Arnold, and I am joined by my broadcasting partner for the evening, AA, Anthony Alford. Anthony, how you feeling tonight?
Oh, boy, does this feel like a big game or what? I mean, just the electricity that's in the air. This is the homecoming game for Perry, which we'll talk about during the broadcast. A little interesting having a homecoming game tonight, but the electricity all over. We even had the Nats here as well. So they're all here ready to go. This is a big one, Kevin. We cannot wait.
So the Kirtland Hornets travel to take on the Perry Pirates here in Perry, Ohio at Alumni Stadium. As AA said, we have a lot to talk about, a lot to fill airtime here this evening, and most likely most of that is going to be the action on the field as Kirtland runs on and the Perry marching band awaits their team running out of the tunnel down to our right as we look out over the beautiful turf here, right over the 50-yard line, a beautiful spot up here in the press box. These two teams coming into tonight are both undefeated in conference play. Both are 3-0. Kirtland being 5-0. They did have one game canceled due to COVID this season. They spent a whole community night together. They basically a picnic and everything. So
That's a good way to spend a Friday night.
It is. It absolutely is. And Perry comes in at 5-1. Kirtland last week defeated Chagrin Falls 42-6. Did not give up a first down until the end of the game. They gained 382 yards of offense. Held Chagrin Falls, who is a big-time program in the Chagrin division here in CVC action and in Northeast Ohio football. They held them to 38 yards. Your leading rusher, the homecoming king, Mason Russ. We're going to call his name a lot tonight. 134 yards rushing, one touchdown. Gage Sullivan, who is kind of their wide receiver threat. Kirtland's been known as a running team, but they have added the air attack as well, and Gage Sullivan is behind a lot of that. 5 receptions, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns last week. On the other side for Perry, they beat Edgewood 49-0, led 35-0 at half, as the Perry Pirates come out onto the field off to our right, and they will run through the big Pirate sign right in front of you. And no issues getting through that as Jaden Anderson leads the charge through the tunnel. And let me tell you, these guys come in, they are ready. They are the last team to beat Kirtland from Lake County. These teams haven't played in 20 years.
Yeah, they were all kids, so back then, the last time that Kirtland lost in Lake County, so that is pretty interesting. One thing to point out, Kev, with games like this, the magnitude of the game, I always wonder the focus level for these teams, particularly Perry, considering all the noise that's in play, with the fact that this is a homecoming game, the fact that there's so much that is into this matchup, you do wonder what the focus level is for these teams. And we're going to find out early on where both of these teams stand.
When you mentioned the focus level, we were down there on the field before the game, AA, and both teams during their warm-ups, both teams were focused. There was no extracurriculars, no looking at each other. Both teams just know what it takes to win, and win have they in the CVC. Perry comes in winning 36 straight conference games. They haven't lost since week 9 in 2015 to West Geauga, 49-28. On the other side, you got 2 streaks going for the Kirtland Hornets. The first one, the conference play, they haven't lost since 2016 to Cuyahoga Heights, who they lost to 21-0, and then lost to them in the regional championship that year in 2016, 17-0. But since then, they have dominated the conference they've been in. Of course, moving up to the Chagrin Division, but AA, the big streak, they're looking to continue tonight, and they won't talk about it. They won't mention it. But they have won 46 straight games overall. That includes a Division 6 state title when they were still in Division 6. Then they bump up to Division 5. Oh, well, let's just go win back-to-back Division 5 state titles and win 46 straight, the 5th longest streak in all of Ohio history.
And something that they won't mention, so we will. We will mention it. And one thing about that streak, the senior class was there since day one. So the senior class is 46-0. If they go all the way and win states, they'll be 57-0. That is a magic number to carry, but they're focused tonight on beating Perry.
They are focused on beating Perry, and we are just about set for game action as we're going to get things teed up here. Referees getting everything set, side judges running off, and we are at Alumni Stadium in Perry, Ohio, a packed stadium. We are getting close to standing room only. This is a big matchup. It's a big game anytime it's homecoming, but when you got Kirtland and Perry, it's ready to go, and Perry starting off trying to get the Kirtland Hornets on their heels with a bit of a squib kick, and still running with it across that 35-yard line to the 38-yard line. That is where this Kirtland offense will start, out at their own 39-yard line. So decent field position after that attempt at a short kick on the kickoff.
And one thing we noticed when we were here 2 weeks ago, Rowan, that's how he kicks the football. That's how it's going to be kicked. So Kirtland and Perry, they need to be ready for those squib kicks every kickoff, basically.
So Kirtland will come out. They are in their white road uniforms, blue numbers, blue pants, and the blue and yellow on the helmets. The blue helmets, yellow striping, yellow numbers on both sides, as they actually move the ball across midfield. So Kirtland's going to get really good field position. Did not see the flag thrown, but they will start inside Hornet territory, and they will start with trying to attempt a double reverse, but coming around the edge inside the 45 at the 42-yard line. A name we're going to call a lot. We already mentioned him tonight, Mason Russ, homecoming king last week, trying to spoil homecoming night for the Pirates this week.
Yeah, and it's good job on Perry's defense on that. You're going to have to go side to side here and be able to handle that. Something to be mindful, too. Kirtland tried to use Gage Sullivan. We're going to call his name a lot on that swing. They were still able to account for it, Perry.
So Ramon Lascano is the quarterback for Kirtland, under center. He will hand off to Russ, and he will get the first down across the 35 to the 34. And 11:07 left, less than a minute in. Kirtland already on the drive.
And one thing you notice about Russ, being able to drive right in their ISO play, essentially, and we talked about in the pregame hit, which line is going to dominate up front, being able to drive up the field. Kirtland, that's what they do. They drive up.
And two defenses that will hold you at bay this season. And coming through, Lascano still has it. He's around left edge. He's got some room out across the 25 and pulled out of bounds inside that 25-yard line down to the 23. So with all of that misdirection that you're going to see in this rushing attack from Kirtland, Perry thought they had it. And
yeah, look at this right here. It's just being able to get right after it there and just going right across there on that left side, right open.
And quickly back to action. Russ on the carry. Gain of a yard maybe to the 23. They will give him that 23-yard line. So pickup of 1, second down and 9, 10:23 left, no score.
And Kev, just the speed right away. It's just situational football. Now, you notice some teams, they like to go fast all the time. Here, they're going out of the huddle after the fast play before.
Trying to change up tempos on that Pirate defense, trying to keep them on their heels. Lascano will take the snap, give it off to Russ, and he's got room inside the 15. Touchdown saving tackle. There was a lot of green turf in front of Russ, but he will be tackled right at the 10-yard line, and that'll set up a first and goal for Kirtland.
It seemed like Russ was anticipating contact. It was a little bit surprised on that run that he didn't get contact right away. Good run, and again, wide open up front with the blocking from the offensive line.
Lascano walks the team up to the line of scrimmage. Pitch it out to Russ, left side. Trying to push his way into that end zone, and he will be stopped just shy of the goal line. Looks like the 2-yard line is where they will spot that one. Gain of 8 on first and goal. It'll bring up a second and goal.
And so far in this drive, success running to the left side of the field. That's Kirtland back in action.
And a quick snap. Lascano will take that, trying to push the pile. Guys pushing behind him and waiting on a signal from the referees. Touchdown, Hornets! Ramon Lascano from 2 yards out. The quarterback gets the scoring started early, and Kirtland goes on top 6-0 with 9:06 to go.
It's quick, man. I hope you guys caught your breath there, because that's how quick they operate in Kirtland. They're a machine, and it showed there this entire drive.
So Lascano will hold this one. And the extra point is up and good and through the uprights. And just like that, this high-powered Hornets offense gets the fortunate bounce on the opening kickoff, and then the penalty moves them into Pirate territory before they even take a snap. And Ramon Lascano leads them down the field on a 48-yard drive and caps it off with a 2-yard touchdown run on 2nd and goal. And Kirtland 7, Perry nothing.
That was a business-like drive, basically. And really just, I'm looking at the stat line here. That was all runs. Every play was a run. And when that happens and you establish your dominance up front, it's a man's game down there. So how's Perry going to respond offensively? And here's the thing, Kevin. In games like this, when you know what's at stake, it's almost imperative for Perry to get some form of a score this drive right here.
You're gonna have to answer Kirtland all night long. These two teams can score in bunches, and they can score quickly. Now, the senior kicker for Kirtland, Johnny Raguse, the 5'10", 200-pound kicker who just knocked through that extra point, has this teed up at their 40-yard line. And they will also squib this one across the ground, picked up by an up man. Jaden Anderson will pick that up at his 20, across the 40, still going across the zone 45-yard line, and that is where he will be marked out of bounds. Jaden Anderson is an electric player, kind of lurking in the weeds in that up man position.
And we're going to talk about him throughout the day. Anderson, to me, is an absolute beast, and you're going to see him featured all night long, and he's going to be needed if they want to get this W against Kirtland.
So Braden Richards, the quarterback for Perry. He is a 5'11", 169-pound sophomore quarterback, and it was kind of the electric freshman last year. We did a couple Perry games on CVC TV, saw Braden Richards and Jaden Anderson last year as well. And a couple weeks ago, this team looked potent on offense. We'll see if they can continue that and answer. This Kirtland score, the end around, giving that to Javin Richards across the 45. Gain a couple yards, running a long way all the way across the field, only gaining 3, and it'll be a 2nd and 7.
So almost similar to the way Kirtland started their offensive drive, utilizing the perimeter. There was no trickery in this case, but utilizing the perimeter going side to side. It's a little tricky for the defense to maintain the outside and maintain the outside containment there, Kevin.
Perry 2nd down and 7 on their opening drive of the game, already trailing 7-0 to Kirtland. Ball spotted at their 48-yard line. Richards in the shotgun. And looking to pass here to the left. He's got a man open, and Richards is open again, and he's free. Inside the 20, he will be just tripped up from behind, but getting inside the 20, down to the 15-yard line.
And being able to find that find. Take a look right here. Richards, it's Richards to Richards. Here, a wide open, and being able to just take off at that broken tackle right there. Just incredible action, and that's how you respond if you're Perry.
State champions in track and decathlons and junior Olympics. The Richards brothers are going to be on display all night long. You can see that. Now Richards will keep this one, gain a few to the 12-yard line, bring up a 2nd and 7, but already inside that red zone, and they can hit you quick with that speed.
And yes, they can, and Perry. Now, defensively for Kirtland, this by far today is their biggest challenge of the season. This matchup, the speed that Perry brings to the table. So it's a little bit of a shock right now. It's going to be interesting to see how the Hornets respond to the speed from the Pirates.
So Braden Richards, that is the quarterback in the shotgun. Aiden Leftlock, the running back, will flank him on his right hip. 2 receivers to either side. Some motion by Brock Savon. Going right, and now Richards will pull it down himself, trying to find a little bit of a lane inside the 5, and brought down just shy of that 5-yard line. They need to get to that 5 for a first down, but a good run, 6 yards, and a 3rd and manageable at the 6. 3rd and 1 for Perry.
A bit of a high snap there. Wonder what would have happened if that snap was a bit down, because that hole was there for Richards to take it in and score. But nonetheless, making a positive play, sets up a 3rd and short here, Kev.
Perry kind of slowing things down. You're seeing this change of tempo, this chess match already from one sideline to the other. And Richards will bring the team out. He'll stay in that shotgun. 3rd and 1, 6:10 to go. Kirtland 7, Perry nothing. Perry driving. He'll send a man in motion. Richards will run this one himself as well, and he's going to be stopped in the backfield. A loss back to the 9-yard line. Actually, they'll spot that at the 10. It is going to be a loss of 4. Bring up a 4th down and 5.
And I believe that was Withdraw there. Jonathan Withdraw reading the play, reading the guard up front, and stopping that play on his tracks.
So 4th and 5 now for Perry. You're in plus territory. We know both kickers can kick, but you're already down 7-0. They look like they're going to go for it. Good move, Double A?
I would take the points, but I understand the line of thinking here behind this decision.
So Richards will take this 4th down snap. He's got a man open, and incomplete. That Kirtland defense holds on 4th and 5. And this has been a stingy defense all year long, only allowing about 5 points a game to their opponents. Bend, but don't break on that first possession. Momentum definitely on the Kirtland side.
Yeah, and I understand, you see teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, or even go on the basketball side, the Golden State Warriors. You think about you have to match point for point. But sometimes taking the easy guarantee points to field goal early in the game, too, it's fine. It's okay to do so. And now Kirtland can possibly take advantage offensively.
So 5-17, Kirtland will take over on the pitch. He'll gain out to the 16-yard line. Looks like Tommy Gogolin on the carry that time, getting his first carry of the game. He'll gain 6, and it'll be a 2nd down and 4 at their own 16.
It's interesting when you watch this Kirtland team play. Up front, everything moves fast. They got athletes on their offensive line, and you see that with all the backs that are attacking. It moves very quickly, Kevin.
So 2nd down and 4 for Kirtland, and a much better job by that Perry front. Looks like getting in on the tackle for Perry. Brian Cox coming up from his defensive back position to get in the backfield and make the tackle. So short gain, may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. They will give him a 1 yard, so it'll be a 3rd and 3 at the 17, and a key 3rd down already for Perry's defense.
And for Kirtland's offense as well. Being able to double this up. You don't want to be in a track race with Perry.
So looks like the quarterback, Liscano, tried to do exactly what he did on that touchdown. That time trying to get 3 yards, but he gets pushed back to the 16, and this defense holds.
And stuffing the inside there defensively. Good gamble there for Perry, and the linebackers was right on it there.
So interesting to see Kirtland kind of attack that middle most of that drive. Had Perry kind of looking in the backfield, but Perry's able to get the stop, and with 3:57 to go, Kirtland still leads 7-0, but a very big stop for that Perry defense after their offense got stopped on 4th down.
You like this game so far?
I do. I hope everybody at home does.
I mean, you want to talk about all the action that's going on in a mega matchup. I think what's interesting, when you have such a long overall streak like Kirtland, you always wonder, okay, how's a team with all these wins, all these Fridays of getting W's, how do they respond against a team like Perry who, let's be real, they can win this game. You know, they can very well win this. And it's interesting to see what Kirtland is doing and then how Perry is responding. It's really fun and a fast first quarter so far.
Fast first quarter indeed. 3:57 on the clock. Coming out of that stoppage in play, Kirtland took their first time out of the game, so they will have 2 remaining. On to punt for Kirtland. Gage Sullivan back at his 5-yard line to punt, and kind of a sidewinder off the top of his foot, but will take a Kirtland bounce on this turf as it started to roll back to the midfield stripe. The Kirtland Hornets special teams able to down that one, so Perry will start again at their 48-yard line.
And there was pressure on that last play on the outside. I believe Anderson was able to provide that pressure, which forced the side punt. And again, if you've watched Browns football, you know how important getting the punt off is. And however way you can do it, little things like that. You got something here. Perry starting on the short field.
Perry at their own 48-yard line, first and 10. 3:49 left on the first quarter clock. Braden Richards back out for Perry's second possession. Looking to his left, he will pull it down. Looking to his right, and he will go down, trying to get rid of it. We'll see Kirtland's sideline looking for intentional grounding as that one got spiked into the turf right in front. Pressure was coming from behind Richards.
Scott Hammer. I mean, that pressure, number 9, coming off the edge and creating the stop there essentially for Kirtland. Richards cannot spend all day back there. He has, if something doesn't open up, you have the ability, take off. It's okay. Take off and run. If you don't get that first, second progression there, you cannot wait that long in the backfield.
Second down and 10, so it is an incomplete pass, and what a name for a guy coming off the edge, Scott Hammer. That's who you want to. That's who you want as one of your defensive ends.
Yeah, you better be good at football with that name.
You better be putting pressure on that quarterback all day long if you're gonna have that last name. So Perry sending a man in motion, and we have a flag. It'll be looks like false starts, legal motion by the offense, so that'll back him up 5 yards. So 2nd and 10 quickly goes to 2nd and 15. Not the way the Pirates want to start this drive.
And we talked at the very beginning about focus and being locked in a big matchup like this. You know, you act your true self when the stress level is at its highest and when the pressure's at its highest. Your true self comes out. So focus-wise, Perry, they have the talent to do this, but they got to be locked in and focused.
Braden Richards leads the team out of the huddle. He will send 3 wide receivers here to the near side. He'll stay in that shotgun formation as he's been all game long, and he will run this one across the 45, trying to get that penalty yardage back. He was looking to pitch that to left block, saw a lane, and then just kind of slid across the 45 out to the 47. So it'll be a 3rd and long, 3:24 ticking first quarter clock. And they're going to have to be looking deep, and this defensive backfield for Kirtland has been stingy all year long.
Yes, they have, and it's going to be critical here on this play how they're going to come through in that defensive backfield. Linebackers were on point in that last play as well. They were responsible for only making that a 4-yard gain, not longer.
Richards gets the snap. He's rolling out to his left, looking back to his right, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 33-yard line. Coming in, that was Robert Laney on the sack, coming up from his defensive line position, just shooting right through the middle of that offensive line.
And what Kirtland is saying, and their game plan defensively, if that quarterback is going to stay that far back, we're going to pressure him, we're going to pressure him, we're going to pressure him, we're going to force him.
trying to flip field position, and Lascano getting his own offense a little breathing room.
And I was about to say, no, don't pick up the football. No, what are you doing? The ball's going down. Just field it right there. And you're the quarterback. No, don't do that. Okay, good return. Don't do that again, but good return.
Don't. Yes. So Kirtland comes back out for their third possession. Under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, leading 7-0, getting the opening touchdown, a 2-yard touchdown run from their quarterback, Ramon Lascano. And they got stopped on their second drive of the game as they come out for the third, an end-around play out across the 30. Looks like they'll spot it right there at their own 30-yard line. So gain of 5. And that's kind of Kirtland's MO. 5 yards at a time, and then that big play happens.
And I believe how many offensive drives so far has started with some form of an end around, to test the perimeter. Interesting to see here in this first quarter.
You kind of see Perry looking at that middle. That's why they're able to get that stop on the last possession for Kirtland. But now they're using the edges, and Gogolin will carry this one, still driving the legs, trying to get to that first down marker. Forward progress out to the 38 or 33, excuse me. So it'll be 2 yards shy. They'll actually bump that up to the 34. So a yard shy of a first down. Short yardage for Kirtland.
And they're going right back to the line, Kevin.
And how often do you see that? Teams quick huddle, short yardage. And Russ is free. He is inside Perry territory across the 30, 20, being chased down from behind, 10, 5, and just stopped prior to the goal line at the 2-yard line.
And this is why you get right back to the line. And you see it here on the replay. You go right back. Russ able to break right through. And defensively, while the officials try to spot the ball, Kirtland was already at the line, ready to go. Perry was trying to align themselves. And defensively, you take yourself out of the play where you don't know what's happening. And Russ is stuck right in there for a near touchdown.
64 yards on 3rd and 1, setting up a 1st and goal. Less than a minute to go. And Lascano will do the same as he did before. And he is in for the touchdown. Almost like a replay of the first drive from the 2-yard line. Another 2-yard touchdown run for Ramon Lascano. And pending the extra point, it is Kirtland 13, Perry nothing. 34 seconds left in this first quarter.
I mean, what can you say? I mean, just offensively, just getting right back into it, Russ that big run, and then the score.
So Ragu's on to attempt the second extra point of the game. Kick up and good, right down the middle of the uprights. So 34 seconds left. Kirtland is leading, has doubled their lead, 14-0 over Perry for Lascano. That is his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. Came in with only 24 rushing attempts, 158 yards, and the 1 touchdown. He's already doubled that here in the first quarter.
Yes, he has. And just when you think, oh, man, you got this on lock, essentially, that big run. This is what Russ has been doing all season long. So just when you think you're comfortable and you're locked in, you're ready to go, you get that big score. I'm more concerned, to be perfectly honest. If I'm Perry, I'm more concerned about the offense. And they got to find a way with Richards on the offensive side of the ball to either get that ball out quickly or take off. Because the running plays have worked, but you cannot have long developing plays against Kirtland. I want to see how they adjust on their upcoming offensive series.
And you wonder, after that promising opening drive, short field for Perry, getting stopped 4th and 5 inside the red zone. Lost a lot of momentum, and now Kirtland has doubled their lead, 14-0. Kickoff taken about the 10-yard line. He will be met right at the 25 and pushed backwards. And that, they will start right at the 25-yard line, 28 seconds left in the first quarter. And as you said, Double A, Perry has got to find some answers on offense. An offense that coming in, reading up on them, quick hitting offense all year long.
And that's the thing. They are a quick hitting offense. But the thing is, you got a D-line who has full of athletes, and you have linebackers who attacks hard and they slash. I think something interesting there. If you got an over-aggressive defense like Kirtland, maybe, again, those quick strikes, maybe a counter, things like that could kind of turn things around here for Perry.
Braden Richards, quarterback for Perry, looks back at the umpire and bobbled on the end around and botched play, but now he gets free and starts dragging defenders. A heck of an effort by Perry, and we have an offensive lineman down here at the 35-yard line, helmet off. And the training staff will come out to attend, quickly waving to the training staff as looked like A.J. Kaifas down on the ground and writhing in pain, may have been rolled up on the back. We won't speculate on any injuries. All we can do is send our best to Kaifas. And, of course, we say it every single week, privileged and honored to have the type of medical staff that we have, the type of world-renowned medical staff that we have here in Northeast Ohio, and supplying all of these athletic trainers to the various schools here in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one of their junior leaders on the field, so they're going to attend to him. Hopefully everything is going to be fine. I will say this, though, about the previous play, Kevin. That play for Perry went wrong in so many ways, and they got 9 yards out of it. I mean, so you look the high snap, and that's something that's been a little bit inconsistent here tonight with the snapping for Perry. Again, attribute that to the pressure from the defensive line for Kirtland. They're going to do that to you. And then you had the near bobble on the end around. So many things happened. Perry held their poise, kept it going, and was able to get 9 yards out of it. I mean, that character-wise, that shows a lot. I mean, to be able to maintain, because if that goes wrong, Kirtland's scooping and scoring. That's 21-0 right now.
And how often did we see it last week here on CVC TV, those that tuned in? Beechwood, high snaps all day, and what that does, it just throws off the rhythm of the offense, the start of the play. Guys are already in motion, blocking downfield, expecting a guy to be either right behind them or kind of coming through their gap, and they're trying to collect the football in the backfield first before they can get the engine rolling, and that allows the defense to then rotate over to the gaps they're trying to attack.
But I think that's the difference, though, right there. You just mentioned, somebody, you're expecting somebody else to do something. And really, it starts with you. It starts with doing your job, and you hear guys like Bill Belichick talk about it. He has a mini matchup coming up on Sunday. No big deal. It's only facing Tom Brady. But
who? Who's that?
Thomas.
Okay. I've never heard of him.
Thomas Braden. But there's probably a Thomas Braden actually listening.
There probably is.
Yeah. Oh, he's up. That's good.
Up.
Good to see.
He will be helped off, and a good show of support from both fans on both sides of the field. As we said, this is a packed alumni stadium in Perry, Ohio. Kevin Arnold alongside Double A, Anthony Alford. 13 seconds left in the first quarter. Kirtland leading 14-0 on a pair of 2-yard touchdown runs from Kirtland's quarterback, Ramon Lescano,
who's also their punt returner as well.
Mr. Everything.
Right.
There's always got to be at least one, if not a bunch. So they run the clock, and that hits the end of the first quarter with your score. Kirtland 14, Perry nothing in a battle of undefeated Chagrin Division foes. Right now, we would like to take a moment before we get to second quarter action, though, and say that this broadcast is dedicated to the honor and the legacy of the late, great Cleveland media member, Matt Lodi, who unfortunately lost his battle with cancer a couple days ago after a 2-year battle with cancer. He loved and lived for nights like this. He loved and lived for helping all young broadcasters. He helped me get my start. I will be forever grateful, forever indebted to him. And we honor him tonight. Rest in peace to Matt Lodi, longtime Cleveland broadcasting member. We start the second quarter with a catch from the Pirates, a deep ball, exactly what the Pirates were looking for.
Yeah, it happened right here. Again, something quick, something affirmative, and Richards getting that deep throw, and just right there, Salvin able to get that big catch. Those are the type of plays you need, Kevin, if you're Perry. Something quick, something aggressive, strike, utilize your strength. And that's what Perry did on that play.
And apologies coming out of the second quarter break there quickly, but 11:30 to go in the second quarter. And now Perry on the drive. They got the big play they were looking for. Richards will take this one himself, dragging a couple defenders with him. Kirtland trying to rip that ball out. He dragged down from behind by Philip Laverty, who coming off of injury is Laverty, getting back on the field, the coach's son, of course. One of the big-time coaches here in Northeast Ohio. If you're looking at a program and a culture starter and a culture maintainer, it is one Tiger Laverty on that Kirtland sideline.
He's only won a few state titles. But yes. You want to talk about establishing a culture. We saw it in warm-ups. That's what he does. It's incredible, the tradition that they have.
3-yard gain from Richards on first down, second down and 7. Aiden Leftlock out in motion, out in the flat, and Richards trying to gain some speed. He will duck down close to a first down as he will get it by 2 yards out to the 15. Knew exactly where he needed to get to and didn't slide. He lunged forward to get that first down.
But Kevin, that's exactly what we talked about. This is what Richards has to do. If you're going to have an over-aggressive defense like Kirtland, who does attack, use it to their disadvantage, use it to your advantage, take off, go. You have the legs to do it, and you have a new set of downs.
Second leading rusher on the team, coming in with 262 yards on the season. And Richards will keep again, but bottled up. May have gone back to the line of scrimmage and able to reach that ball out for a yard. So he's second down and 9, 9:50 to go. Perry trying to cut into this 14-0 deficit.
When we were here 2 weeks ago for the Perry Lakeside, Ashby Lakeside game, this was the area where Leftlock kind of was fed the football, and he gained a chunk of 5-6 yards of carry and got the score in the red zone. I'm interested to see if, okay, in this situation, maybe we see a little bit of Leftlock right here.
Interesting that we haven't seen Leftlock carry yet. Their leading rusher on the year, but it's been Richards from that quarterback position. You wonder if there was something they saw on film where they could try to attack from that. Now Richards will go to the end zone and catch out of bounds, foot coming down. The referee says that on the white out of bounds line, that was Jaden hacking the intended target. A heck of a throw, a heck of a grab, but just not able to get that foot in bounds.
Yeah, he's good. He's gonna work. Now, taking your shots, it's gonna be interesting here on this next play here, where Perry's gonna go and how you can take advantage. Again, key here, you don't have to get the touchdown to get the first down. So you got 9 yards to go, but we'll see what happens here with Perry if Kirtland can get the stop.
3rd and 9 to be exact from the Kirtland 14-yard line. Richards with the snap, looking right, now looking left. He's going to that far corner this time, and end zone incomplete. Was trying to get a call in that far end zone. No contact made. The intended target, Brock Savon, who caught that big grab to set this drive up. But ball goes out of bounds, and another 4th down inside the red zone.
I'm not sure, and I'm calling a complete audible here. I'm not sure if we can get a replay on that last play, but on the fence, on the outside, I believe there was enough space in the corner of the end zone where that penalty, you wouldn't get a penalty right there. That's how you play. You can't be all over, the receiver right there. And you play it smart there, even though he didn't turn his head back.
So Perry again will keep their offense on the field. 4th and 9. We did get word that their main place kicker, Calvin Rowan, not playing tonight, so got to think that that's part of the decision to go for it.
Back to the same play.
Back to the same play. Is he able to secure it? Touchdown, Pirates! Same play, back to back. This time a connection between Braden Richards and Brock Savan in the back left corner of the end zone.
And here it is right here, Kev. Going right back to it. And in the corner, hey, you're not going to play the football? You're the defender. You're not going to play the football? Find that spot. Find the lucky, sweet spot to get that football in the corner. Perry, Pirates, on the board with 8:59 to go in the second.
What an adjustment by Savan in the back corner. Between two defenders, turns around, grabs it, takes the hit, and collects it in the end zone. The extra point is no good. Actually gets blocked by Kirtland, attempting the extra points tonight for Perry in place of Rowan. That is Brian Cox, a linebacker for Perry. So trying to get that timing down. The referees with a meeting in the end zone, but with 8:59 to go in the first half, Perry gets on the board. They trail Kirtland 14-6, but that's got to feel good for Perry, especially on 4th down.
Yeah, and especially, with the big play earlier with the end around, that was a near fumble with the high snap. Being able to take advantage and go down the field and score, and converting a 4th down, I believe, in that drive as well. So here we go, a game that's living up to what we thought it could be, 14-6.
And this game is brought to you by our presenting sponsor of CVC TV, the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. Their doctors Keith Schneider, Don Lewis, Jill Weber, and Jacqueline Tomsick. They will specialize in dental surgery and implants, corrective jaw and facial surgery, as well as trauma reconstruction. For all those oral surgery needs, visit the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery website at www.ohsurgery.com. That is www.ohsurgery.com. Thank you to the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery for all their support of CVC TV and these student athletes. So back in action, Perry kicking off, and again, a short one off the side of the foot, the outside of the foot. Another up man picking that up for Kirtland, and they will have good field position. Kirtland's Danny Alfieri picking that up. And
one of the best last names you could have.
Absolutely. There are some amazing last names, and some of the players that we probably won't even get a chance to call, being some of the younger guys on the roster. There is a litany of last names this evening.
I got a question for you, Kevin.
Yep.
You want to know Kirtland's passing stats so far this game?
Yes.
Non-existent. As in nothing. No attempts.
And again, a team that has been doing this for a long time, they haven't needed it yet. Gage Sullivan, who they usually go to in that passing attack, getting the rushing attempt this time. A 4-yard gain out to the 49, and it'll be 2nd down and 6. 8:40 to go. Kirtland driving, holding on to a 14-6 lead.
I mean, think about that. I know on the high school level, it's easier to learn to run before the pass, but for that to be your bread and butter and to be at this point in the second quarter and not attempt to pass, wow.
Kirtland coming out in that power formation again. Lascano will give to Russ, and Russ trying to push the pile. Looks like he will get right at the 1st down marker, and they will wave the chain. So a gain of 6 on 2nd down, and it'll be – actually, they put up the 3rd down marker, but the referees have been waving the sticks to go for a 1st down that far side of the field. So it'll be a 1st down and 10 at the Perry 45. And Double A, you mentioned no passing attempts from Kirtland yet. They haven't needed it because they've been ahead of the chains this whole entire game.
Look at the offensive line, Kevin.
Lascano going behind that offensive line with that push, stepping out, in and out of tackles as if he's going through the tires in summer camp. And a hard.
That is the sled. I mean, really, that is the sled. That's how you attack a sled. I mean, pushing a D-line back 5-6 yards.
And CVC TV is exactly where you want to see guys pushing the sled or the results of pushing the sled. You do not want to see Double A and myself trying to push a sled. If you're just joining us, this is the first game you've watched on CVC TV. We're not going to get into it like we did earlier in the season on how our efforts would probably go trying to push a sled. So
even if efforts were high, forget it.
Even if efforts were high, that's for sure. So Russ gets the handoff, and he will push across the 35, inside that 35 to the 33. 4 yards on the carry on 2nd down and 2. Another first down as the teams come together a little bit, a little frustration between both as they separate and go back to their respective huddles.
I wonder defensively, I mean, again, this is where you talk about the chess match, because I'm sure Perry's thinking the moment we bring everyone inside, the moment we bring our DBs up, that's when Kirtland may go over the top. We don't want that either.
Toscano under center. Hand off to Russ. No, he will keep it across the right edge and gets popped inside the 30 at the 29. So a gain of 4, but a good hit on the outside and a good deception on that handoff up the middle to Russ. Toscano just keeping it himself.
Yes, it is. But again, the Hornets, Kirtland, options. They can go wherever they want. They can do whatever they want on the ground. And you eat up clock, you do whatever you want. You can be in a huddle like you are now, and then the next play after, go no huddle. That's actually how Russ got the big run the previous scoring drive.
2nd down and 6. Russ on the carry, spins out of a tackle, but it gets dropped after getting back to the line of scrimmage. May have gained 1. So it'll be 3rd and 5 for Kirtland, but a good job by Russ to get out of that tackle in the backfield, a tackle Perry needed to make.
Okay, 3rd and 5 like you just said, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Will we see a pass? Now 3rd and 4. Will we see a pass from Kirtland?
This is an area where you could use Gage Sullivan in that passing game, but they have that push on the offensive line. Something we talked about in our pre-show. Who's going to win in the trenches? Kirtland is winning in the trenches right now. And it looks like Kirtland will take a timeout and think about this one, which is a good time to also remind you and thank our other partner. The Chagrin Valley Conference is proud to partner with FRST, First Response for Sports Trauma Course and Physicians Ambulance. Through this important partnership, FRST has helped prepare our first responders on the sidelines and throughout the league to consistently and expertly respond to trauma on the field of play. We want to thank the Physicians Ambulance and FRST for keeping our CVC community safe. For more information about this partnership, visit chagrinvalleyconference.com, which is also the place you can visit if you are interested in sponsoring CVC TV as well. Again, that website, chagrinvalleyconference.com. And thank you to everyone tuning in live tonight or on replay through chagrinvalleyconference.com or the Chagrin Valley Conference YouTube page. Kevin Arnold alongside Double A Anthony Alford up here in the press box. 5:05 to go. Kirtland driving. They met with a 3rd and 4 coming out of this second timeout. They will have 1 remaining, leading 14-6. Ramon Liscano, 2 2-yard touchdown runs, and then Braden Richards, quarterback for Perry, a 14-yard strike on 4th and 9. 2, Brock Savon and Mason Russ breaking through tackles on 3rd and 5. And Double A, you said it. Will they attempt to pass? They just have that push, and as soon as Russ is getting to that second level, taking a bunch of guys to bring him down.
I like what Kirtland just did. They brought a receiver out, all the way out, man-to-man, one-on-one, and they still said, Russ, here you go. Let's go up the field, and offensive line carry this team to a first down.
They will send 2 wide receivers out, this time to the far side. Liscano under center. And flags fly. False start on Kirtland. So on 1st down and 10, push them back 5 yards. Leave the first penalty on Kirtland this evening.
next play, I want you guys to watch how low. And we had a matchup earlier this year on CVC TV where the quarterback did the exact same thing. Watch how he gets into a stance under center and how low he lines up under center. You can't see him. And, you know, if you're the linebackers, you're the defenders, you line up that low, you cannot see the quarterback in the backfield.
4:05 to play in the first half. Kirtland first down and 15 at the Perry 15, and Russ tripped up after a gain of 2. It'll be a second down and 13, and Perry's going to want to keep Kirtland, if they can, behind the chains and try to force them into one of those passing attempts so late here in the first half.
And right here now, since you're in a red zone situation, and you know for the most part Kirtland's not going to pass, you can be a little bit more aggressive with your backers, a little bit more aggressive with your defenders up the field.
Toscano will attempt the first pass of the game, looking for Sullivan in the corner. The ball will be batted down. Sullivan looks back at the referee quickly, but good defense in the corner. Blanketed coverage from Perry. Javon Isaacs covering Gage Sullivan. And ball falls to the turf. 3rd and 14 for Kirtland.
That was a good battle there between Isaacs and Sullivan on that outside. And again, if we're limited in the number of passing opportunities, every one of them will be spotlighted. Every single one, every single matchup will be spotlighted. Big play there for Perry, but it is still 3rd and 14, and it's imperative for Kirtland to be up by 2 scores.
Lascano back under center. 3 receivers to the far side, 1 goes in motion. And Lascano looks like he's going to keep this one himself, but Perry not fooled, and they will drive him backwards. Javin Richards, one of the first ones to meet him, drive him backwards, probably gained a couple yards. Back to the original line of scrimmage, but it'll be a 4th down and 10. Now Kirtland does have their kicker here this evening, and he was working on 40 to 45-yard field goals earlier in warm-ups.
Yes, he was. And it looks like they're going to be ready to go here. But if you're the Pirates, this is what you want. I mean, this drive is not looking good, and this will be forced to kicking here.
So 30-yard attempt from Johnny Ragu's ball end over end and through the uprights. Johnny Ragu's a 30-yard field goal with 2:38 to go extends Kirtland's lead 17-6.
That's right. And this game's blowing my mind right now just because, again, for Kirtland, this is their biggest challenge in the regular season. And for those who don't know, the divisions were changed this year for matchups like this. You know, previously, Kirtland was not in the Chagrin CVC division. Now they are. So you get matchups like this, and you get matchups where one of these 2 teams is going to have a streak, Kevin, snapped. Either it's going to be Kirtland overall or Perry going back to 2015 in the CVC.
Perry, one of those prominent members of the Chagrin division in the CVC throughout the years, as CVC and their commissioner, Don Lewis, was also part of our presenting sponsor, the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. As he continues to add to the league and these divisions get changed, Kirtland bumping up from the Valley up to the Chagrin division, and results have been the same to this point. Again, as AA said, the toughest test. Kickoff out across the 30-yard line to the 32, and that is where Javin Richards will set the Perry Pirate offense up. 2:33 to go. All 3 timeouts at their disposal, and of course, their coach, their first-year head coach, Bob Geswich, coming over, taking over this Perry program. It's a motor that just keeps going.
And he mentioned something very interesting at CVC Media Day and during camp. Anything that happened with this team last year, even the good results, none of that matters. This is all fresh. All these players earned their spots on the field for the Pirates.
Perry first down and 10 at their 31-yard line, trailing 17-6 to Kirtland here in the first half. Aiden Leftlock gets his first carry and gets met as he crosses the line of scrimmage. May have gained a half a yard out to the 32, but it's going to be second and long. Clock continues to run as we tick closer to the 2-minute mark of the first half.
How do you respond from that play? Now, Kirtland defensively needed that. You needed the defenders to kind of set up, spotlight, make a play, open field tackle. Hard to do, too, to do it right. See what happens here in the 2nd and 9.
Braden Richards sends Leftlock out of the backfield. He'll be all alone in the shotgun. Gets the snap, another high snap. Delayed QB draw across the 35 out to the 36. So it'll be a 3rd down and 5. And clock running. Perry not taking a timeout. 1:35 to go.
Middle of the field's open. I'm just pointing it out. Middle of the field was open. It's ready to go. I do agree with your observation, though, Kevin. It is interesting with all 3 timeouts. None is being taken. And Perry, I kind of see what they're doing. If they don't get it, eat up as much time as possible. Make sure Kirtland does not take advantage. I don't really agree with the decision, but I understand it. I get it. Eat up the clock. If you don't get anything here, then Kirtland, they're not going to have any time.
Well, Perry will take a timeout. They let the clock tick all the way down to 59 seconds left. Quarterback Braden Richards was looking at the back judge for the signals for the play clock, and as soon as they ticked under that 5 seconds to go, Coach Guesswich and the Pirates take their first time out. A good time to, again, thank our title sponsor, Ohio Center for Oral Facial and Implant Surgery. Practice will diagnose and treat your facial pain, injuries, offer you a full range of dental implants, bone grafting procedures. Again, please look no further than the Ohio Center for Oral Facial and Implant Surgery for all those oral and cosmetic surgery needs. Need more information? Head on over to their website. That is www.ohsurgery.com, www.ohsurgery.com. So out of the timeout, Pirates taking their first. They will be left with 2 timeouts for the final 59 seconds of this half. AA, you got to wonder if this approach to maybe
I don't know what the approach was, Kevin. I'm sorry. I don't know what it was. Either you run it down and say, screw it, we're not going to take a timeout, or you take a timeout immediately. You ate up 30 seconds from the clock there. I don't know.
Richards under center. Leftlock looking to throw. He's got a man open, but he gets picked. Kirtland intercepting at the 48-yard line of the Hornets. That is your quarterback, Ramon Lescano. He's been running kicks back. He's got 2 touchdowns on the night. Now add an interception to the mix.
And when you set that up there, defenders are right there. Kirtland has had the outsides defensively locked up. I would think one of the adjustments that Perry needs to look into, the middle of the field is available. It is there. But I question, again, the entire approach, the last couple of plays there, running the clock down and still calling timeout. I'm not sure about that. But, again, there's only 52 seconds left. There's only 1 timeout for Kirtland. But they got 50 yards here to work with.
All right, Lescano with the snap. He has room to run. He's inside Perry territory across the 40, running out of bounds to stop the clock at 44 seconds. Gets inside the 40-yard line of Perry. We'll spot it at the 36. And first down and 10, and just like that, already getting into Perry territory. They got 1 timeout, short field. Again, the questions will remain about the approach to the last Pirate offensive possession, because they come out of the halftime break with the ball. So if you were looking to hold on to the ball for now and make your adjustments, did you come out with a gadget play, gets intercepted, and now Kirtland is back pushing for more.
And 4 wide here, Kevin.
4 wide, something you don't usually see. Lescano back to pass, looking downfield. He's firing down in towards the end zone, and it'll go incomplete. Looks like he was targeting Gage Sullivan again on the far side of the field this time. But the defenders were in good position, and one of the defenders on Sullivan had even run the route, maybe even a little bit better. They were just trying to go for a big play. No harm, no foul, though. 2nd down and 10, clock stops.
Second pass attempt of the game for Kirtland. So every time they pass, it's going to be spotlighted here. But like you said, live to fight another play here. Again, 4 wide here, Kev.
Yeah, so trying to utilize some of this remaining time. Lascano getting pressure, but he's got the screen set up to Russ, and Russ inside the 30-yard line. Referees coming over to make sure no extracurriculars happen as the play spills into the Kirtland bench. But Lascano, as he's taking the hit, gets his first completion of the game down to the 30-yard line. It'll set up a 3rd and 4. More importantly, Kirtland finding a way to stop the clock, not having to use that one timeout.
Yeah, pretty much, right there, locked in. And we're going to find out now how Kirtland's going to approach this here. They might go for it here again on passing.
Lascano pitched to Russ, and Russ has got the first down and more. Across the 25, trying to push his way to the 20, gets pushed out of bounds again. So 23 seconds, taking only 5 seconds per play off the clock. Plenty of time remaining. Ball at the Pirate 21-yard line.
Well, AA Wormo was wrong there. Again, just lined up there under the center.
Russ with the carry. He will be stopped at the 18-yard line, and Kirtland will take that final timeout with 18 seconds left.
This is interesting, Kevin, because now, with that final timeout, it's 2nd down. So you have a couple plays here, if Kirtland wants to go back to the air, get to the end zone, and possibly, do it. But they have proven as well their ability, and I want to kind of see this here, but they have proven over this win streak, their ability, if they decide to run the football, get up, clock it, kick the field goal, they have plenty of options here to get that score.
And if you look at these last couple plays, even though they have gone 3-4 wide with their wide receivers, it's been running plays back to the running game for Kirtland. They've gotten Perry out of that middle, so there's more space to roll, and that offensive line is just teeing off on the snap.
Yeah, it is. Got options here, Kev.
Lascano back to pass, 2nd down and 6. Throwing for the end zone to Sullivan. Tried to grab that one just fingertips away, and a flag comes out late. Lascano on the turf. They have been a late hit by the defense, as a beautiful ball, but just out of the outstretched arms of Sullivan. Beautiful throw, beautiful route. Not able to connect, but looks like the early indication is on Kirtland.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting.
So the referee's talking to Coach Guesswich on the Pirates sideline. Looks like ineligible man downfield. It'll be still 3rd down, but a penalty for the Hornets, kind of pushing them towards the outstretches of Johnny Ragusa's field goal if they're not able to pick up this field goal positioning, if they're not able to pick up this 1st down.
So here you are right now at the, right here at the 24, and the approach is going to be interesting. Do you say we're going to go for the score, or do you just run a little bit to set up the field goal?
Lascano under center, 3rd down and 12. Looking to pass. He's getting pressure. He steps out of the sack attempt. Now he'll run. He's got some grass in front of him, and he will go down. The Pirates keeping everything in front of them.
They can't stop the clock.
They can't stop the clock with no timeouts, and that takes us to the end of the 1st quarter. So the interception from the Pirates on the gadget play does no damage. Pirates do trail Kirtland at halftime, 17-6. Double A looking at me like his mind is absolutely blown. This is exactly what we were looking for. Yes, Kirtland has the advantage, but this is the type of back and forth and the push to Kirtland we were looking for, the type of physicality from Perry we were expecting to see.
Yes, all that is there, and you will continue to see that. For a game like this, though, this is week 7, late game situations matter, and we saw Perry not take advantage at all of clock management, and the same for Kirtland, not taking advantage of clock management. The fact that it's 17-6, and the fact that Kirtland couldn't even attempt a field goal or couldn't get in the end zone because of mismanagement of the clock and not knowing the game situations, those are things that have to be fixed, if not for this game, for both of these teams for a playoff run.
Absolutely, Double A. And the next possession by Perry, they get the ball to start the second half. So the adjustments they make at halftime will be crucial. Only trailing 17-6 can make a big dent and gain a lot of momentum coming out of halftime. So we turn it over to the Kirtland High School Marching Band and the Marching Band halftime show. Double A and I will be back for all your second half action in just a little bit. You're tuned in to the CVC TV Game of the Week in Perry, Ohio, presented by the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery.
music of the Beatles, please welcome the pride of the Pirates, the Perry High School Marching Band. We begin with a popular hit released by the Beatles in 1967 as the title track to their 8th studio album. The song was groundbreaking in its use of unique studio recorded sound and influenced many rock groups for years to come. Here is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and With a Little Help from My Friend. We continue with another hit by the Beatles, released in 1968 under self-titled album. This catchy song has been said to be made up on the spot in the studio by Paul McCartney and John Lennon. We hope you enjoy the fun Beatles song, Birthday.
Yes.
final Beatles selection, and we would like to leave you with perhaps two of the greatest rock ballads of all time. Let It Be was released in 1970 after McCartney announced departure from the group and the subsequent breakup of the Beatles. Hey Jude was released a couple of years earlier in 1968 and was the first Beatles song to be recorded on 8-track equipment. These Beatles ballads have stood the test of time and have influenced many artists even today. We hope to bring it home to you with Let It Be and Hey Jude. The Perry High School Marching Band is under the direction of Brad Russell, Assistant Director Jeff Miller, Real Team Advisor Rick Shaw, and Catering Advisor Debbie Baker. We hope you have enjoyed tonight's show, and we thank you for your applause and attention.
welcome back high atop Alumni Stadium in Perry, Ohio, as we get set to start second half action between Kirtland and Perry, as Kirtland leads 17-6. Ramon Liscano, the quarterback for Kirtland, two-yard touchdown runs, a 14-yard strike on 4th and 9 from Perry's Braden Richards to Brock Savon in the far corner of the end zone, and then a 30-yard field goal added on top of that by Johnny Ragouz from Kirtland has us at this 17-6 score. This is your CVC TV Game of the Week presented by the Ohio Center for Oral Facial and Implant Surgery. Kevin Arnold, again alongside AA Anthony Alford. AA, what we expected in that first half, but some poor clock management from both sides at the end.
Yes, it was. Kevin, I'm going to be honest with you. I barely heard anything you just said because apparently the 50-50 went really well here at Alumni Stadium, so that's good. You heard the bands during the halftime as well. I will say this, though, to answer your question, yes, we saw a lot of good action, but all of these games, there is some kind of learning intangible, and we saw it at the end of the first half with a little bit of the clock management or mismanagement issues that may be taking advantage going into this half and down the road with the playoff run.
Yeah, and as Perry comes over to their sideline, they will get the ball to start this second half. It is very tough to hear in here. It is a packed crowd, and Perry on homecoming night is also trying to give away a Jeep Cherokee that is parked down there on the field.
You should have had me enter in this contest, Kevin.
We were talking before. We should have got in, AA. We may have gotten that last chance.
We can't get a Chick-fil-A sandwich. We can't win Jeeps. I don't know what this is.
All we can do is ask for great action out there on the gridiron tonight, and we are getting that.
Yes.
Kirtland leading 17-6. Some of the first half stats. Mason Russ already has 136 yards on the ground for Kirtland. Hornets running 30 plays, Perry 20. Time of possession. This is interesting. Kirtland 12 minutes, 8 seconds. Perry 11 minutes. So very close in terms of that, but Kirtland, this is where they are winning this game. Rushing attempts, 27 yards, 206 to Perry's 12 rushing attempts for 26 yards.
I'll give you one other statistic back to Mason Russ for a second. You mentioned the 14 attempts, 136 yards. When you average 9.7 yards a carry, that's a first down to run, per run, basically. That's where you win the football game. And how many times we see the offensive line for Kirtland go through. Now, what's going to be interesting now, Kevin, as you mentioned, Perry gets the ball first here in the second half. I think it's imperative right now for Perry to attack quickly, attack hard, counters, play actions. That's what their first scoring opportunity went down. They got to do the same here.
So we'll see what halftime adjustments Perry's head coach Bob Geswich in his first season, 5-1 coming into tonight, 3-0 in conference play. What kind of adjustments he made with his team against Tiger Laverty's Kirtland Hornets, who sit at 5-0, 3-0 in conference play. And of course, we talked about the streaks, 27 straight conference games, 46 straight games for Kirtland that they've won. Perry, 36 straight conference wins. We'll get it all figured out in this second half as Javin Richards with a good return off of Johnny Ragouz's opening half kickoff across the 35 out to the 36-yard line. So a good return, 11:53 to go. Perry looking to put a drive together to cut into the 17-6 deficit.
Yes, and if you're a Kirtland right now, you got to be a tad bit disciplined here. I mean, again, if you're the defensive backs, you cannot be caught looking in the backfield. Keep everything in front of you at the stake because Perry's going to want to attack. So if you're Kirtland, be disciplined here. It's going to be critical here.
Richards still in that shotgun, a little bit different in the backfield. This time he will hand off to Leftlock, who gets upended behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1. And it'll be a 2nd and 11. Good play by Kirtland's front to come through. Leftlock has had no room to run here this evening on his limited opportunities.
And I'll mention, too, linebacker Mason Russ. Again, we talked about his impact offensively. Defensively, it's been an absolute beast from that linebacker position.
Richards gets the snap, looking to his left, looking deep down the field, got a man open, but Gage Sullivan undercuts the throw at the 35-yard line of the Hornets, and the second interception for that Hornets defense tonight.
Yeah, here it is right here, and things have to be quick. You cannot stare down the receiver, and that ball just hung, and the height difference with Gage Sullivan, you're gonna take that advantage of that and get the interception. So that's a tough play, but Sullivan was just in perfect position for a ball that he saw coming from almost a mile away.
Perry had a man open, streaking down the middle of the field, but Sullivan, a heck of a play, and he will get rewarded with the opening carry of this second half offense for Kirtland, across the 40 out to the 43. And a quick gain of 8 already, 2nd and 2 for Kirtland.
And real quick to go back to the interception, that's something where you like to see Richards, the quarterback there, you like to see him put a little bit more back leg into that throw. You know, it wasn't really enough lower body action there. He was trying to get that throw off. It just lobbed up in the air. There was no back strength. So you want to get more lower body leg action on the throw next time.
Kirtland, Lascano will hand off to Russ, looking to get that first down. May have been stopped just shy, a gain of 1. So 3rd and 1. And these are the moments where Kirtland looks to get up to the line quickly. Looks like they will huddle this time. But in those short yardage scenarios, they try to go with that quick snap, not allowing the defense to get set. Interesting this time, going with the huddle, allowing Perry to get their call in.
Although it is a mix, between the two, right? It is a mix of getting up to the line quick. Other times it is, let's huddle up and see.
Lascano will pitch to Russ, going around the right edge, trying to fight for first down yardage. Perry to meet him, setting the edge beautifully, and no gain on the play. 4th and 1 for Kirtland. A key decision here.
And a key decision defensively, able to get that stop on the outside. Take a look at this. Getting right to it, the perimeter, the linebackers all there. It's incredible, Kevin, but now you're going to have to do it again as Kirtland's going to go for it.
Looking at that replay, a little bit of a favorable spot as well, as Russ had kind of turned his back. He was stopped in the backfield, but they will go for it. And that push from this Kirtland offensive line will get 2 yards across the 45 out to the 46. And on 4th and 1, Kirtland converts, move the chains, 1st down and 10.
Was that a unique I formation there? You don't know who to guard. I mean, you don't know who's going to get the football, in that situation. That's the depth that this offense has, especially rushing. You see it right here.
Lascano, fake pitch, it's coming out to the side. Jaden Anderson coming up with the big mitts. Lascano smartly pulled him back to now allow him to try to catch up to that tip pass, or else he was free for a pick 6. But in those bright yellow gloves, Jaden Anderson coming through, making a big play on 1st down.
Yeah, you can see the gloves from here in the press box. Yeah, he's there. He's there. And you mentioned, Kevin, the decision. Sometimes offensively you make the right decision to prevent turnovers.
Lascano will hand to Russ after a fake end around from Kirtland. Russ going up the middle for a couple yards. Gain of 2 or 3 on that play. They'll bring up 3rd and somewhat long for the Hornets. Limited passing attempts. They've been confident in their running game, even in these type of scenarios.
Oh, they have. But here we go, a 3rd and long situation. We're going to be interested to see if Kirtland puts it up in the air, or I think here they might try to run in the perimeter.
Lascano looking left, looking for Gage Sullivan on the crossing pattern, and good timing on that crossing pattern Sullivan being defended again by Javon Isaacs. His second big play against Sullivan today. Sullivan coming in as the leading receiver for Kirtland. So not getting there too early was Isaacs. Right as the ball got on Sullivan's hands, able to tip that one away, and Kirtland will be forced to punt.
Yeah, Sullivan's been defended pretty well there by Isaacs, as you said there.
So high snap on the punt. Sullivan avoids the defender and just line drives that down the field, but it'll be a good punt for Kirtland just outside of the 10 at the Pirate 11-yard line. A punt inside the 20 that looked like disaster. Sullivan able to avoid the block attempt or even the disastrous loss of yardage.
Yeah, I was block attempt. I'm going to be honest, I give up on figuring out with the punts because it is really just survival mode at this point. You had a high snap, though. That was the cause of it. And if you had somebody other than Sullivan back there with his height, that ball goes over their head. So that's why you do have Sullivan back there to at least save something, and they get themselves a good field position against Perry.
Gage Sullivan listed at 6'4". We'll get back to that here in a second as Braden Richards with the pitch to left lock, and not much there at all. Trying to get around the far left edge, slides out of bounds after a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9.
And Russ, I'm telling you right, I'm even more impressed with Mason Russ defensively. I'm even more impressed with the speed that he has just getting out there. And he is a force to be reckoned with in that defensive front. It's incredible.
2nd and 8, 7:27 left in the third quarter. Kirtland still leading 17-6. Both defenses getting stops on the opening possession, so Pirates out for their second. They will be at their own 12-yard line. Braden Richards looking left, up over the top of Sullivan, and in and out of the hands. Looking behind him, just overthrown over the opposite shoulder he was looking, and it falls into the Kirtland bench. 3rd and long coming up for Perry.
They're trying to attack Gage Sullivan, I see there. They're trying. But Richards has been looking to that side. We talked about him first option, second option being quick. I think he's locking in too much on that first option. As soon as you see it, get it out or go to the next option.
Shotgun formation for Richards. 3 receivers here to the near side, 1 to the far side. He does come looking to the near side, lofting this one up over the top, and a grab made over the shoulder. The connection between Richards and Savon, Brock Savon, that is number 1 for Perry, has been on point tonight.
And the sophomore quarterback adjusting. See, watch right here. First option, just find it. Then right on the second option, he found it, threw it, made the catch. And again, just that adjustment. Learning on the job. Sophomore quarterback getting it done here for Perry. We're seeing him grow up in front of our eyes, Kevin.
Yeah, coming off that left side where Gage Sullivan has been defending. And we said Gage Sullivan listed for Kirtland at 6'4". We know that sometimes these rosters, they will accentuate some of the heights. Being down that field next to Gage Sullivan, he is all of that 6'4". Richards back to throw, slings it across his body and across the middle, complete to Logan Cassiano.
And again, another quick, I'm sorry, Kevin, real quick, just another quick play. Just getting out there, looking, progressions, finding the option, and right there able to make that play. Middle of the field, and now Perry's moving down, Kev.
And they give them 10 yards on the first down. Looked like where the ball hit his hands may have been just a little bit short, but where they spot the ball at the Pirate 47, that is enough for a first down and 10, 6:33 to go. Pirates on the drive, trailing 17-6 to Kirtland. Richards looking for the pitch to left lock. He will get it. Left lock trying to avoid tacklers. And every single time that left lock gets the ball in his hands, he is seeing 4 or 5 blue and yellow helmets in front of him.
Yes, he is. And again, just the speed. You're not going to really get much off of the option. I know you want to keep him honest. You want to keep Kirtland honest. But there's just simply too much speed from the linebacking position and from your D-line to do it. So get back in the air. Get back, quick plays, quick strikes if you're Perry.
So as that clock continues to tick here in the third quarter, 5.5 minutes left. Richards takes the snap. He will take this one himself. Able to avoid a couple tackles. Gets knocked out of bounds by Laverty and across midfield into Hornet territory, bringing up a more manageable third down play for Perry.
And Laverty, credit to him as well, because on the previous play, he was the one that was able to read both the quarterback and the tailback on the option and still read the guard, get the quarterback, get the tailback off of the toss on the option play. And defensively being in that position, you got to be an athlete to pull that off. He certainly is.
Perry out of their huddle. Left lock will flank Richards on his left hip. Two receivers far side, two near side for Richards in the shotgun. He will roll to his left, be flush out of the pocket. And a flag comes in. Richards trying to get to that first down marker, and he runs into the sideline and also knocking over a couple people that were standing on that sideline as well. It looks like everybody is okay, thankfully.
Those kids got right back up.
Yes,
they
got
did. Right back up. I think they're ready for Friday nights.
At Double A, we talked before the game about how the reason why these two schools are so good is because they start them young. Everybody knows what to expect throughout the entirety of their progression towards the high school level. These kids showing that toughness already on that sideline. They know what to expect.
Showing the toughness, and there are so many kids. There's so many kids in Perry uniform, and the tradition is to say for Kirtland, we see it with Perry just because their home game, but loads of kids.
But short trip for Kirtland. I saw a few kids on that Kirtland sideline too.
Oh, yes.
Getting a taste of it. This is what you can expect when you get to this point, exposing them as much as they can. But it was a hold on Kirtland and drops them all the way back into their own territory at their 37. A third down and 20. They will just hand off to left lock. He will get some of that yardage back, trying to play field position there. There's a little bit more wiggle room that time for left lock, but of course the Kirtland defense playing back towards the stick, just keeping everything in front of them.
Yes, they are, and that's what you got to do if you're the Hornets, and they do it right. It's going to be very tough to outsmart Kirtland. There's a reason why they've won 46 straight games. They play smart football. So if you're going to beat them, you got to make decisions very quickly. That's really the only way you can get it done there.
So Brian Cox for Perry, standing at his own 32-yard line in punt formation. Back deep for Kirtland. Ramon Lescano, the quarterback, standing at his 15. He will watch this one bounce and take a roll. Perry trying to keep it out of the end zone and not able to get down there in time to down that inside the 1-yard line. Rolls into the end zone for a touchback. A heck of a kick for Brian Cox, but just maybe too much on it, not the right kind of hop on this turf.
Kevin, they were jumping around like it was recess, man. Yeah. That punt return on the fielding there, that was unbelievable.
There's a lot on the line. There's streaks on the line. We've talked about them all night long. There are so many different ways to break down this game, the date it's being played on, the series between these teams. But if you're not having fun while you're doing it, we say in sports,
what are you doing?
What are you doing out there? So got to have a little bit of fun with it. Everybody, as a little kid, you always like to get on that turf field after the game. So maybe some memories of that. Lescano getting this series started, pitching it out to Tommy Gogolin. And he will run around left edge, get knocked out of bounds. Gain of 6 on the play, out to the 27. It'll be a second down and 4.
I don't know about you, Kevin. Don't you get the feel here with Kirtland? If they get a touchdown on this drive, that it will go a long way to really deciding the fate of this football game.
And look how deep we are into the third quarter already. Already 8 minutes into this third quarter. Not a lot of time for Perry to come back. Russ on the carry. He will get that first down. And now we're going to see a lot more of that rushing attack from Kirtland. Once those chains set, the clock continues to tick, keeping that clock against Perry and in favor of the Hornets and what they like to do to wear you down.
And the chain's moving. I mean, basically, this is what Kirtland operates their offense on their terms, on their time, the methods in which they want to run. If they want to speed it up, they do. If they want to slow it down, they do. If they want to run outside, inside, they do.
Lascano under center. Gogolin in motion. Splits out far to the right side, and Lascano keeps it. Ball is out. Ball is on the turf. Kirtland looks like they're able to jump on it. Gage Sullivan was already pointing to Kirtland's way. It looked like he saw his teammate pick that one up. That may have been David Patel.
Yeah, let's take a look right here, Kev. See what happened here under center. There was a strip. And, yeah, their lineman's right on it there for Kirtland.
Yeah, looks like Jonathan Withrow, their offensive lineman, was actually the one to get in there.
Yep, I believe so.
Picking up his quarterback. So fumble, but Kirtland retains, and gain of 4 by Lascano. A design quarterback run up the middle. Looked like he was going to have a room to run. But second down and 6, a little end around, looking for a little gadget play to Gage Sullivan, and he makes an excellent grab inside the Perry 40-yard line. An adjustment made. He's been blanketed all day, and he just went up.
Yeah, we was
picked it out of the air.
Yeah, we was wondering, Kevin. First off, good throw. Good throw right there. Wondering when we was going to call Gage Sullivan's name offensively in the air. The way he was able to, all hands, snag that football, bring it down. If you're a young receiver, you're seeing that right now. That's how you catch a football.
And it's the work pregame. He was working on those hands right in front of us as we were down on the sideline. Lascano pitches it out. I believe Gogolin on that carry down to the 35, 36 they will mark his knee down at. So quick gain of 4, so second and 6 for Kirtland. That throw to Sullivan was made by Pierce Boyd, a guy reading up on Kirtland throughout the year, a guy that Coach Laverty talked about, and a guy that was willing to, is sacrificing for the team, sacrificing any personal stats, any position that he expected to play. He is willing to play anywhere for this team and do anything, and you saw it on 2 plays ago. This time, Perry's defense comes up as offensive lineman slow to get up for Kirtland. On the carry, Mason Russ may have gained 1 to the 35. They will push the nose of the football just shy of that 35-yard line. Third down and 5. And you're starting to see this Pirate defense. They know that Lascano can keep it, fake the handoff, give it off. And in those running attacks, you're kind of seeing that common defense nowadays in these rushing attacks, hitting the quarterback and the running back at the same time.
Critical third down right here, Kevin.
Lascano to Russ, pushing for the first down, needs to get to the 30-yard line. He just gets the first down. Referee here on the near side points to move the chains. 29 seconds, and we have a stoppage in play as a Kirtland Hornet is slow to get up. That is Philip Laverty.
I'll also mention, as he is walking off the field, the other official initially did not rule the first down, but they are going to move it now.
So the chains move. Kirtland on one of those typical Kirtland-style drives. Ball at the Pirate 30-yard line. 29 seconds left here in the third quarter. A quick-moving third quarter. Kirtland leading 17-6. Basically looking to try to put the hammer down in this third quarter or on this drive.
And that was a big conversion there for Kirtland to get the new set of downs and likely have the football heading into the fourth.
So Lascano gets the snap, still has the ball in his hands, and he will get dropped for a big loss. Bouncing the ball around in those hands, able to hold on, but a big loss and a big tackle for loss by Perry. That was Tyler Croyle, one of their big-time defenders, their linebacker, coming through with a play when the Pirates needed it.
And look at him right now. Like, he's even the fans like, hey, let's go here because we're about to head into the fourth quarter, Kevin. And right now, it is anybody's game as we got the second and long coming up.
Coming out of the third quarter break, the Hornets will have a second down and 13 at the Pirate 33-yard line. They lead Perry 17-6 with 1 quarter to play. And this game is brought to you by our presenting sponsor of CVC TV. That is the good folks at the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. They specialize in dental surgery, implants, corrective jaw and facial surgery, and trauma reconstruction. For all your oral surgery needs, visit the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery website at www.ohsurgery.com. That's www.ohsurgery.com. We want to thank their doctors, Keith Schneider, Don Lewis, Jill Weber, Jacqueline Tomsick, and all the fine folks over at the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery for all of their support for CVC TV to bring these games to you each and every single week. And, of course, their support of the Chagrin Valley Conference and these great student athletes and all of their families here tonight in attendance. It has been one heck of a game, and we get ready to start the fourth quarter here at Alumni Stadium in Perry, Ohio. Kevin Arnold alongside AA Anthony Alford. Kirtland leading 17-6, and they will be faced with a second down and 13 after a big play by Perry's defense. Going to need a couple more of those to get the ball back in their offense's hands. Lascano being rolled out, and he's able to complete the throw to Tommy Gogolin down inside the 15 at the 13-yard line. Gain of 20 on second and 13, and it'll be first down and 10.
And was there a holding call missed? And possibly, but Kirtland gets a big play out of it, Kev, and they are back in the red zone. A critical drive right here.
Gogolin wide open. There was a bunch of screams for holding on that Kirtland offensive line. Nothing called, so we got to play on. And now the clock continues to tick. Kirtland with a first down and 10. Lascano has the ball in his hands, running left side, looking for that near pylon. Be dragged down, maybe just shy of the first down. And that is going to be a personal foul after the play. Unnecessary roughness indeed by Perry's defender.
And they're letting their frustrations get to them. That's something you just – but what's interesting, though, about that as well, if that play doesn't happen, that's a Kirtland touchdown. Now, again, we're not encouraging anything like that. You just don't. But this is where if you're Perry, you got to keep your poise. Because if you don't, Kirtland's going to do their business and win 47 straight games.
It's the mental toughness that these coaches talk about all the time. And that penalty was called, I believe, on Javin Richards. And not so much for the tackle and the veracity of the tackle, but frustration on the non-call, or what they felt was a non-holding call. Looked like he was going to just smack the turf, but smacking down straight towards Lascano. And the referee saw that and called the personal foul.
Well, here's what's happening, too. Perry's around, not just hanging around. Perry's legit playing Kirtland to their absolute best of their abilities. Kirtland has the rare – what's happening basically is Kirtland, there's a couple of plays in a row. We've actually seen it throughout the game. There's like a 2 or 3 play stretch where they get the best of Perry and they don't react at an ideal level. And then Kirtland just takes advantage. Just fully takes advantage.
And Coach Guesswich will, not sure if he was kicked out or anything like that, but Guesswich will bring Javin Richards over to the sideline and have that coach the player man-to-man talking to one of his leaders, his senior leader, who is also a champion in pole vault and in track. Can't have those moments from your seniors in such a big game and a big moment.
And it is that focus. How do you maintain it?
So power I formation, Mason Russ trying to fall into the end zone. Looks like he stopped just shy on 1st and goal at the half-yard line. 2nd and goal, ticking under 11 minutes to go. Kirtland up 17-6 and looking to add to it here in the red zone.
I mean, we're at a fever pitch right now with how critical all of this really is. It's unbelievable. Kirtland, you can't mess around. Use that offensive line, drive in. You got Perry on the ropes.
And the ball is free, and that one might be in the end zone. Now, I think he went down, though, just before. He was trying to reach it out while he was on the ground, touched it before the end line. Interesting to see on that last play, the near judge came in inside that half-yard line. The ball was spotted all the way back to the 2, so some discrepancy between the 2 side judges on spotting. But now the ball is at the 1, 3rd and goal, 10 minutes left, and a crucial goal line stand from this Perry defense. Kirtland looking to punch it in.
And right now, this is the first close game for Kirtland as well. So even though we know their history, we know what this team is, how do they handle this moment?
Lascano will push his way into the end zone. The referees have not signaled their hands in the air yet.
Do we have a fumble?
There might be a Perry is pointing their way.
Touchdown.
Touchdown signal finally comes, and Ramon Lascano gets his hat trick, this time from a yard out. 3 touchdowns, only 5 yards of offense in those 3 touchdowns, but it counts all the same for 6, and Kirtland goes up 23-6, 9:32 left.
We was wondering, these pressure cooker situations, how the moment would be handled. And Kirtland, my goodness.
Ball down, kick up from Johnny Ragouz, and it is no good. So Kirtland stays at 23, Perry 6, 9:32 left. Perry still in this one, but time is of the essence, truly, as we tick towards the end of this big matchup here on CVC TV.
Emotions, right? It's the frustrating part. If you are, first off, Kirtland is handling business. They are handling business. They're doing the things that they need to do. They're using their hogs. They're driving down the field. They're taking advantage of mistakes. Perry was interesting, and I've been there. We've all been there. They have played well enough to win this, and there's still time to close the gap and make a run at this. But when you feel like you're right there, and then, everything has to go your way. And when you feel like, whether it's from the officials or whether it's something dirty that Kirtland did, if you feel like they did something dirty and nobody sees it, you got to find a way to zero in and focus. And sometimes that's hard to do when you feel like you've done everything right for this game to be close.
Johnny Ragouz, kicker for the Hornets, has this one teed up. An end-over-end kick will be fielded at the 10-yard line. Trying to run it back, gets across the 20 and stuffed right at the 22 for Perry on the return. That is Connor Zagrebnak. So Perry will start this possession needing to go 78 yards just to get in the end zone to start cutting into this lead, which AA, interesting stat we were sent by the Hornet Stat Crew, and you can follow them at Hornet Stat Crew on Twitter. We want to thank them for all their help this week. Hornets haven't trailed since the 2019 playoff opener against Sandy Valley. They've either led or been tied coming into the night for 979 minutes straight. So tack on the rest of this game so far. They just lead and they take care of business, as you said. Left lock on the carry on 1st and 10 out to the 30. Gain of 8 via 2nd down and 2.
Kudos to the stat team for keeping track of, literally keeping track of that. I mean, that's an interesting stat there to keep up and keep track. You got 9 minutes to go here in this game in regulation here. interested to see at some point will Perry. You have plenty of room in the secondary. See if they take advantage at some point.
Another handoff to Leftlock, and he will get stuffed at the line of scrimmage. And side judge is coming in across that 30-yard line, so not much room. Couple decent runs for Leftlock, just not a lot of room. Kirtland really taking advantage and getting the push in the trenches on both sides of the football tonight.
Yeah, on both sides, and you saw it especially in the first quarter when Kirtland was up 14-0, and then you're seeing it lately here in these last couple of drives for the Hornets, dominating up front.
Richards faced with a 3rd and 3 in the backfield in the shotgun. He will take it himself. He's pushing for it, and looks like he has just enough by a half a yard. Cross the 32 to the 32.5-yard line. 1st down and 10. But Perry is going to need yards, and they're going to need yards in bunches in a hurry to start the comeback in this 4th quarter.
Yes, they will. They still have all 3 of their timeouts, right now. But, yes, at this point, the clock's moving, so clock is moving. Now, if you're Kirtland again, then your only goal, especially in the defensive backfield, you have one job, and that's keep everything in front of you.
Richards gets the shotgun snap, looking left all the way. Got a man open, Brock Savon, and he must have kind of tripped up on the sideline. He was already looking back. His arms were up, but he had a step, not able to make the connections we've seen in the past. So 2nd down and 10. Better thing for Perry in that regard. The clock does stop.
Oh, they both and the defender tripped up on the turf.
Yeah, incidental contact down the field. I know Savon was looking for that call, but incidental contact coming across the middle, looking for that deep shot. So 2nd and 10 for Perry. They will send a man in motion. Another high snap. Seen that all night long. Leftlock with a power run out to the 39. Gain of 6. 3rd and manageable. 3rd and 4. 7 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Kirtland 23, Perry 6. It's been Ramon Lascano show tonight for Kirtland. Throw out to the left flat and getting his receiver all turned around there. The intended target was Ethan Crum. And it'll bring up 4th down, and looks like they will bring out the punting unit as Brian Cox comes onto the field.
Yeah, it looks like it right there, and a good stop for Kirtland, working side to side on the perimeters, and that's really what you have to do. Now, if you notice here, if we see it here on the shot, Kirtland is not going to drop anyone back with the expectation. Okay, now they're going to drop. Now they're going to drop someone back.
So Lascano will drop back. There was a low snap to Brian Cox. He had to pick it up and decided to run with it. And instead of getting rid of it, you wonder if it was a designed fake or he just felt like he needed to get out of there. And he gets dropped at his own 30-yard line. Hornets defense, special teams, offense just running on all phases tonight. Perry has been in this one, but when it matters, in those key moments, Kirtland handles their business, and that is the focus we have saw since the start of warm-ups tonight.
Yeah, and that's I don't know about what just happened on the punt on Perry's side. I'll say on the Kirtland side of things, that's something that you anticipate. You know, we mentioned someone was not dropped back in the backfield because, again, you're leading 23-6. So it doesn't really make much sense to punt.
If it was a design fake, you might as well go for it because you don't know if you're going to get it back because guys like Ramon Lascano are running up and down the field now, and those gaps are starting to open. He gets gain of 10, 1st down for the Hornets.
And at this point, you know, this is the time now where Kirtland, you want to remind people of who you are, and you want to make a statement. They changed the division. The conference, you know, they said, we want to get you a tougher schedule. we got a tougher schedule here. Now Kirtland's, take advantage.
Toscano with the first down. Snap, hands off to Gogolin. Short gain down to the 20, gain of 1. Be a second down and 9. And we know all the numbers right now for Kirtland, trying to extend that 46-game winning streak, extend to 28 straight conference wins. And you also look at how many points they've given up. They average 42 points a game and only give up 5.2. So right on that average for that defense. Offense a little bit behind, but a Perry defense that came in only giving up 9.5 points per game. Toscano, snap, handoff to Mason Russ over left guard, left side of the line, and good gain on second down. It'll be a third down and short. They will mark it at the 13, need to get to the 11, so it'll be a 3rd and 2 facing the Hornets, and they are in no hurry to get to the line.
And that left side of the offensive line, remember we talked about that back in the first quarter of how much work they did and get a couple of those early scores where it was all run plays in the first quarter. Going back to that here in the fourth quarter for Kirtland.
Toscano in the I formation. He will try to push for those 2 yards for the first down. Kind of the same play we've seen on all 3 of his touchdown runs tonight. Keeps it, and looks like they will be a 4th down. They are holding up the fist on the far side, be inches shy, so 4th and inches for Kirtland. It's going to take a big push from this Perry defense to get this stop and try to get the ball back for their offense with any time left.
Well, this play, they're going to go for it here. We'll talk about it after this play here on a big 4th down.
Toscano under center. He will pitch it out to Russ following his blocker and may have just gotten there to the first down. It was a good push by the Perry defense, but first down for Kirtland. Takes all 4 downs, but it works all the same. And they are just chewing clock up here this evening at Alumni Stadium. 3:50 to go. Fourth quarter, 23-6 Kirtland.
And George Pusak, number 73 for the Hornets, getting out there on the pull block. I mean, and just when you need that final effort in that fourth quarter, when your Hogs are getting after it, that's the mark of a championship team.
First and goal at the 10-yard line. Gogolin around the left side trying to get in the end zone. He able to dance down the sideline and in for the Kirtland touchdown. Tommy Gogolin, 10-yard run up the far sideline, step-toeing, dancing, tight rope indeed up that left sideline into the end zone as we look at it one more time.
Yeah, take a look here. I mean, taking the handoff, you're blocking up front, and then the footwork. Staying inbounds, able to get the touchdown. And for the Kirtland Hornets, I mean, we're in week 7 right now, Kevin, as we're getting ready for the we're going to have extracurriculars up front there with a flag. But this is the week. We talked about the challenge that Kirtland is facing with an extremely talented Perry Pirates team. You're not going to face another challenge like this until they get deep into the playoffs. But if you want some type of a challenge, especially coming off of last year, whatever, all the stuff that happened last year in the world, I mean, this is ideal. If Kirtland does go all the way, as many expect them to, this is the midpoint of the season. As the playoffs is 5, now 6 weeks long.
So there was a false start on the extra point attempt, so it'll back to the 15-yard line, making this extra point attempt a little bit longer. But no issues for Tommy Raguse on the extra point. And with 3:25 to go, Kirtland takes a 30-6 lead over Perry on Perry's homecoming night. And while we do have a brief moment, we want to thank our sponsors one last time. We may not get another chance to do so this evening. Of course, we want to thank the new proud partner of the Chagrin Valley Conference, that is FRST. First Response for Sports Trauma Course and Physicians Ambulance. Through this important partnership, FRST has helped prepare our first responders on the sidelines and throughout the league to consistently and expertly respond to trauma on the field of play. Thank you to Physicians Ambulance and FRST for keeping our CVC community safe. For more information about this partnership, visit ChagrinValleyConference.com. And it's the same place that you can go if you want to sponsor CVC TV, maybe our Mr. Everything, our Player of the Game Award, if we want to give one of those out, anything like that, reach out for more information. Same website, ChagrinValleyConference.com. Ragu's into the kickoff. Will be picked up at the Perry 6-yard line. And good return across the 25, out of bounds, just shy of the 30. He's spotted at the 29. They may push that out to the 30-yard line as these side referees, as they come across, coming to a discussion, coming to an agreement, and nose of the football right at the Perry 30-yard line. Perry trailing 30-6 to Kirtland, 3:20 to go in this one, and looks like we may have a change at quarterback as well. The freshman Walter Moses, who we thought we may see a little bit of tonight, been used a little bit throughout the season, comes in, the freshman 6'2", 156-pound quarterback, now at the helm for Perry. Moses take the snap, hand off to Leftlock, and like it's been all day, it's been tough sledding for Aiden Leftlock. Came into tonight with 347 total yards on the season rushing. Seems like he's been struggling to just get back to the line of scrimmage all night long. Well scouted by Tiger Laverty. And what else would you expect from a Tiger Laverty type team?
Oh, absolutely. And that's across the board from the tailbacks as well for Perry. You know, Kirtland, with their speed and athleticism, they're doing everything they need to put Perry under duress.
Moses rolling out, has a completion, a good block from his running back, Leftlock, to allow him to continue rolling right, but taking a lot of time off the clock, and a short gain out to the 35. So it'll be 3rd and 5, 2:38 to go. Perry still with all 3 timeouts, but a long way to go to come back in this one. Not a lot of time not in their favor.
Well, and even if you look ahead, because we talked about Kirtland and the challenges they face, you know, going forward. For Perry, this is their first, big game experience. So how do you take this into the future? This will be a learning experience for this Pirates team.
Moses back to pass, looking deep. Everybody is covered. Great coverage by the defensive backs, and he will sling it, trying to sidearm that one under the defender's arm. But Gogolin able to reach his hand out, knock that one to the turf. The intended target for Perry, Jaden Hacking. And Perry will just have to settle to punt this one away, kind of just almost as if punting it away and punting the game over to Kirtland with the situation they find themselves in and not a lot of time left.
Well, yeah. I mean, and at this point, I don't blame them. I mean, there's a lot of lessons. We'll talk briefly during post-game about what to take away from this, but yeah. Reality check. Where you face a Kirtland.
Brian Cox with another good punt and a good Perry bounce that'll roll just inside the 30-yard line at the Hornet 29.
I do want to make a quick point, though. A good chunk of the Perry fans have stuck around and are sticking around, including a good chunk of the students. They're sticking around. They know they got a good football team out there. They got good classmates out there. And they got good sons, out there. And sometimes games like this happen. You face better competition. The score's not, and the game's not going to go your way. But the support of these fans and classmates and parents, brothers, sisters, I mean, this is what these nights are about, Kevin. And it's a learning experience going forward with the support that these guys are providing.
And all Kirtland does is they finish. We've seen scores like this, some games that get away from teams on CVC TV. This was a game that was close for a long time, but the poise, the mental toughness, the strength, the ability to finish by Kirtland is the reason with 1:53 left, they're up 30-6 and going to be able to just run this clock out on this last drive.
Yeah, and the film study tomorrow, I don't think either team is going to come away from this game and say, man, we really, and I'm saying this even with Kirtland getting the W tonight, boy, we really liked how we performed tonight. There's some areas where there's a run up the field. There's some areas, Kevin, for both of these teams where they're going to look tomorrow when they go to their film study and say, man, we should have done a little bit more. We should have done something here. We should have done something there. But that's what this is about. All of these are lessons.
So a gain of 4 for Kirtland. And as we have seen kind of this entire quarter, no rush at all. We saw the change of pace in their offense. Kind of got Perry on its heels early. And I think the turning point, AA, was 4th and 5 for Perry on their opening drive to try to answer Kirtland. Weren't able to do it. They did get a stop, but Kirtland was able to double their lead before Perry was able to find the end zone.
Yeah, and that's their in victory formation. And it's the little things. I think when that happened, Kevin, Perry kind of let their emotions get to them. But again, it's just one of those, it's a learning thing. It's not to say that, okay, they're not good football players out there, but it's one of those moments where how can you handle adversity and things like that. And a lot of lessons came from this game.
So as the clock ticks down to the final few seconds here, it is official. Kirtland with the win at Alumni Stadium in Perry, Ohio. They win 30-6, and they just continue their dominance even when it doesn't look pretty. It is business as usual. The sky is blue, the lights are on, and Kirtland handles their business. It is just business trip after business trip for Kirtland, and they extend their winning streak. 28 straight conference games since 2016, and 47 straight, still in 5th place in Ohio history for the 5th longest winning streak.
I want to say this real quick, Kev. The way that Kirtland is celebrating, though, after, and again, both teams showing respect for each other, but after the congrats, the way that Kirtland is celebrating, you see them kind of sprinting over to their teammates, you could tell they had to earn this victory today. I mean, and I don't want to try to justify a score, but you alluded to it. The score does not indicate how close this game really was. And for this Hornets team in this entire stretch, we're looking at them right now for Kirtland. This game meant a lot to these kids.
And as Kirtland congregates around the 20-yard line on the left side of the field, their usual celebration with a couple backflips from their athletic teammates, and then defensive coordinator Ryan Beeler with the celebratory dance in the team crowd. And then you look over at the Perry sideline. Yes, there are a lot of dejected faces, but the attention already in his first year, the attention he has garnered, the respect he has garnered in Coach Bob Gesowich, you can see that already. This team has high aspirations this year, and they're going to take these lessons to heart.
We saw the same thing in the Independence Cuyahoga Heights game after Cuyahoga Heights lost to Independence late on CVC TV. Perry is looking right at Kirtland in that celebration. They're looking at it. It's ingrained in their heads. And again, we saw the same thing in Cuyahoga Heights. And it's one of those things where, okay, game didn't go your way. It happens. What's next? How are you going to, if you're Perry, you got the matchup next week against Orange. What are you going to do now? Is everything that you've done to this point, does it not matter? Or do you say everything to this point did matter. We've learned, and you get that W. I think what's interesting, Kevin, when you think about how the game transpired, you see with a championship team like Kirtland, there is an extra element. You know, you play your game. There's a second element. It's that you got to beat the hype itself. You almost have to play. You feel like you almost have to play perfect football. And if everything doesn't go your way, the game gets out of hand. That's exactly what happened tonight.
And that's exactly why Kirtland they don't talk about, they get asked about the streak all the time, but every single year, every single time you ask any of the players, any of the coaches, one game at a time mentality. We hear it all the way up the chain, up into the professional ranks. It's what Coach Kevin Stefanski has done to turn around the Cleveland Browns. It is a culture setter, and when we said it before we even hit the air, it's one thing to talk about sports cliches, and when you don't act on them, that's when they kind of become ho-hum and not believable for people. But the reason why sports cliches won't go away, it's because of programs just like Kirtland, because they talk about it and they are about it and they execute every single time. And as we wrap things up here, just some of the stats, final stats in this one. Leading rusher for Kirtland, Mason Russ, 24 carries, 161 yards. Ramon Lascano passing tonight, didn't need to pass a lot. He was 3 of 7 for 50 yards. Leading receiver, of course, Gage Sullivan with that big 24-yard grab on the night. On the other side for Perry, Braden Richards, 5 of 14, 125 yards, 1 touchdown. Aiden Leflock held to only 26 yards on 8 carries. The big stat for Perry tonight, Brock Savan, 4 receptions, 83 yards, 1 touchdown. Hornets take care of business, gaining 341 yards on the ground, holding Perry to only 179. We talked about time of possession, AA, coming into this half.
Yes, we did.
It was only a minute difference. Well, Kirtland definitely extended that. 28 minutes, 32 seconds of possession for the Hornets, 19 minutes and 28 seconds for the Perry Pirates. Hornets, 291 yards on the ground. Just a machine that just keeps on rolling, and they extend that streak, as we said, to 47 straight games, trailing some programs of the past. The next one on the list, should they win, only looking ahead to their next one, they would be tied for 4th.
Oh.
With Niles McKinley near Youngstown back in 1959 to 1964. That program won 48 straight games. The number 1 spot, can you guess it, AA?
I know the answer. I already looked it up, but go ahead.
Okay. Delphi St. John's near Lima, Ohio, 1996 to 2001. 57 wins in a row. Of course, Kirtland 10 shy of that, and we won't look ahead, just like they won't. We won't look ahead to that, but they do have 4th place in the ranks next week.
For those who may not know, I will only point out one number, 57. If Kirtland goes undefeated the rest of the way, their senior class, they're going to win the state championship, their senior class will finish 57-0. Start to finish.
47-0 is astonishing in itself to even hear that kind of number for one class at the school. It just shows how it just keeps rolling, and Tiger Laverty has his kids in play. Of course, Perry dropping to 5-2, 3-1 in conference play. Kirtland going to 6-0, 4-0 in conference play. It was a heck of a night, AA.
It was a fun game. I will admit, it was a fun game.
I know the score doesn't resonate that, but we had the action we were looking for, and we got, I guess, at the end of the day, you got the expected, and that's just Kirtland doing what they do, whether it's pretty or not. They come out with the win, and now they have now they have extended their streak of minutes tied or leading in ball games. That now sits at 1,027 straight minutes without trailing in a game since 2019 and their playoff game against Sandy Valley. The numbers are astonishing. There are so many of them. Don't have enough time to get into all of them. But the numbers that matter tonight, up on the scoreboard, Kirtland gets the win here this evening, 30-6 over Perry. Here, Alumni Stadium, for the entire CVC TV crew, for David Sommerfeld Jr. on production, our cameraman Jim Wagner and Mike Allen, for our production director Peter Tillett, my broadcast partner AA Anthony Albert. I am Kevin Arnold, signing off for the night. We will be with you again next week for more CVC TV action. Until then, have a good night, everybody.